Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's do another new entry here, once again based on one of your new suggestions. This one having to do with a very curious cryptid. In fact, this almost reads like something on the lines of a lumberjack cryptid, but it's not, but it definitely has all the trail marks associated with it. But this is a creature that is so infamous, if you could even believe this, it's even the official mascot of a county out there in the US. I had to do a quick double take when I saw that information because I don't think I can recall any other circumstance where a cryptid was the mascot of a county. But definitely lots of interesting things to share associated with this creature. In fact, you're looking at a representation of it here. It goes by a very curious name too. It's known as the Giwoggle. I hope I'm saying that correctly too. So let's go ahead and let's share this entry. I'll give my own thoughts and opinions, and let me know too if you think this falls more on the lines of a lumberjack cryptid. So what is this Giwoggle? Well, apparently it's a creature that has been around for a long time. Sightings of it at least, or stories of it at least as well, since the mid 1800s. So you can see that this is a creature that has pretty much been out there during the time of the Western frontier. If you want to know exactly where to find it, you would have to go towards the central Pennsylvania area, as it seems to be a local one. So it hasn't really been seen in other parts of the US. As far as its physical characteristics, here's where things get weird, which is a good word essentially to showcase this creature in its entirety. It's a weird creature overall. So this is a creature that is about 6 feet tall. It's shaped like a wolf. It stands, though, on its back legs. And then here's where things get even weirder. Instead of having, let's say, front paws, like you would imagine a normal wolf would have, it has claws. In fact, these claws are more on the lines of bird claws. And then its back feet, instead of having normal paws there as well, it has horse hooves. So here you have a creature that's standing upright with horse hooves and then also front claws. Interesting stuff, right? And then it moves really, really fast, despite the fact that this is a creature that is tall and then has, a big statuesque association with it. If you try to take a picture of it, it'll move too quick for you to do so. It's been known to dart in and out of forest so quick that you won't have a chance to essentially do so, which kind of explains its elusivity. But where it's located again is an area there in central Pennsylvania, specifically the woods. If you're hiking in the woods, that's when you may see some telltale marks associated with this creature. And then if you see it, then you'll be one of the few ones because not too many have done so, despite the fact, again, that it's been around since the 1800s. In fact, let's talk about that here. Here's where things even take a different turn in terms of its origin. Apparently, the legend of this creature dates back to that time period, to an area called the West Kidding Township. There was a woman by the name of Belle Confer, who at one point started telling bedtime stories to her grandchildren. One of those grandchildren was this grandson named by the name of George Rome. He, in turn, took these stories to heart and he decided to write them up for a newsletter or a newspaper that was called the Keystone Folklore Quarterly. Ever since he did that, this creature and its existence, its stories, its legends have continued since then. But the origin of how this creature came about is still mysterious, but there's some fascinating things associated with that too. Apparently, it's believed to have been cast from witches. Either they did some kind of spells to conjure it up, or they in turn turned people into this creature, into the Giwoggle. So if you happen to see one, you may actually be witnessing a human that was unfortunately doomed by a witch to be able to turn into this creature. And then other people that ran into it back then were farmers. In fact, once the Giwoggles were around that central Pennsylvania area, they in turn started to attack much of the livestock that was there. Some have been involved finding things bad, like when it comes to the cows or some of the other cattle. No real circumstance, though, as far as let's say, those things being eaten, although you could just imagine that with its claws and it being a half wolf of some sort, that it was out there and it was definitely taking advantage of some of the livestock that were there, eating them and then killing them and so on. But other times it involves weird things involving annoying stunts and petty vandalism. If you could believe this, the Giwoggle is apparently known to trample on crops, damage tools, and then its tracks are seen throughout multiple parts of the farm as if it's inspecting its activities in a nefarious way, almost admiring its work as it leaves afterward. How kooky and zany is that? Here you have a situation where this creature not only kills livestock, but then also damages some of the other farmers' equipments and other stuff, and then seems to revel in it. It is able to actually go about and then try to, I guess, hang around as much as it can to watch its work, and maybe even see people figure it out, that it was the Giwoggle that was doing it, and then enjoying it from a distance. And then here's where things take another interesting loop as well. Apparently, there's a folk hero, a hero figure, that also appears within these legends. This was a guy by the name of Loop Hill Ike. He lived there in that Kidding Township, and the story goes that he was someone that was not only involved in the world of the paranormal, being a freelance paranormal expert, but he was also dealing with witches, ghosts, and Giwoggles. The story goes that the farmers would go and ask for him for help, and so he would in turn come about and he would actually dispel them through counteract spells. So as long as he was in the vicinity and he knew the Giwoggle was around, he was using something, some kind of magic or something else, and if that didn't work, then he would turn to the good old-fashioned shotgun and then go over and then try to take care of the Giwoggle that way, or try to find the actual witch's cabin. Remember the one I was mentioning a minute ago, the witches that would conjure up these Giwoggles, and they would find that cabin and then burn it down afterward. So, interesting story. All of this stuff associated with the Giwoggle, it almost reads like something that could be a TV series, something on the Sci-Fi Channel or something else, one of those B movies that you see every now and then. Because here you have a creature that has an interesting set of looks, has an even more fascinating origin associated with witches and so on, and then it now has a hero figure that is in turn tracking this thing, whatever these things are, and then dispelling them with spells and shotguns. It looks like those some of the last known sightings, if you could even call it that, associated with the Giwoggle happened a little while back. In fact, this was during 1909, February of 1909 to be exact. That's when the Jersey Devil was around, sightings of him. Somewhere along those lines, though, those sightings in turn paralleled sightings with the Giwoggle. Then that was it. Just as quickly as the Jersey Devil disappeared, the sightings of the Giwoggle did as well, and there hasn't been much in terms of it being out there again. Is it truly out there? Maybe. It could be somewhere out there and then it's just waiting to be discovered, or it's remaining frustratingly elusive as of now. But who knows, maybe tomorrow someone else might finally catch it, or at least do a sighting of it, and then that's the return of the Giwoggle themselves. And then, as I mentioned at the very beginning, yes, indeed, so much lore is associated with this cryptid that Clinton County, which is again associated in that area, that Pennsylvania area, it has the Giwoggle as the mascot. Can you believe that? Clinton County has the mascot as the Giwoggle. Only circumstance I ever know of that, unless someone knows something else differently, like another county that has that, then please post it in the comments. But otherwise, let me know what you guys and gals think about this very strange creature. Maybe even a lumberjack cryptid in disguise. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are too. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.